shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Ones Who Woke Up podcast. This is Joshua, as always, and today I've got with me
Alyssa Westerlund.
And why don't you tell everybody who's watching a little bit about yourself, where they can find you online, what you're doing, how they can support you type shit.
Oh, yeah, I guess, fuck, I hate this part, but I'm a stand-up comedian. You can support me by coming to my shows. Find me on Instagram, my name, Alyssa Westerlund. My YouTube is kind of sparse, but you can find me there, too. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can just do, like, a quick Google search, and you'll see something.
I'll find a link. I'll drop a link in the description.
There's a link. I share.
We'll make it findable.
I need a manager. No, I'm joking. I gotta be my own. But, yeah, I do comedy, and other than that, I do a lot of drugs.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah. Fucking squad, bro. Squad.
A lot of yoga, dance
gang.
a lot, But, yeah, I'm from California, and I live in Texas now because...
Welcome to the squad.
Yeah, why not?
No, well, most people who have a problem with that are, like, dorks. Dumbasses who are just...
They're vaccinated. No,
they're definitely they're definitely dorks. The real ones. I was born in Austin, Texas. You know what I'm saying? I'm from around here, for real, and we love you. We love it's all love. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of space. Like, my God, and I think that generally people want to be like, just don't California my Texas type shit, and it's like, bruh, people are coming here to escape it. Like, people came here to be like, nah, no more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really fucked it up over there. We had a good thing going.
Oh my God, I've had terrible experiences in California. I don't ever want to go back, to be really honest.
It's one of the scarier places I've ever been in my life, traveling and stuff. And I'm like, God damn, we really fucked up something good. We really did. We just fucked the pooch. We screwed the pooch on that one, but
Listen, one time I went to San Francisco for a speaking engagement with my drone company, and I had a really good time most of the time, but I was at a spot, and I was trying to order my food outside, and a dude took a shit in eyesight of me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And big Texan in me was like, oh, I'm about to go whoop this motherfucker's ass. Like, and they literally were like, whoa, you can't. You're allowed to do that type shit. I'm like, what?
What are you talking about?
He just exposed his asshole to me. That's an ass whooping. Like, I'm going to go apprehend him real quick while the cops come. And they're like, no. If you do that, you're going to jail for assault. I'm like, what? What the fuck is going on here?
Yep.
What in the fuck is happening? And ever since then, I've been like, fuck that place. Which, I love everybody out there. It's not... Nothing personal with the people. I love everybody. Everybody's always sweet. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody. Everybody's always chill. But the type of environment that's been fostered there where that type of activity can go on and I'm not allowed to bust someone's head, that's not the type of place where I need to be. Just not at all. That's not Pun's vibe. You're going to find me out in the country.
America's doomed, honestly. I think America's fucked. I think we're coming to the end of a very long reign. And it's going to suck for everybody here because we thought but I just think America's done. Like, it's not a beautiful country. It's all, everybody, I mean, that's the thing about San Francisco. That was a beautiful place.
That's exactly where that happened.
Yeah. And they just destroy more beauty. It's like shit right there. And I don't know, there's just nothing beautiful about this country anymore. Like, except for nature.
Yeah, and like the people.
But nature wants to kill you too. Like, nature's not,
That's the fun part.
Yeah, of it, so it's not like...
The universe is an organism, bro.
I don't know.
Doesn't like to be taken for a ride.
I walked through my apartment complex. I live in an apartment complex now, and I'm like, this is prison. This is prison. Like, you can't tell anything apart. You get lost. There's arrows pointing everywhere. There's bright orange signs. It echoes. It's just awkward, like the doors slam. You can't fucking find anything. I got lost in my friend's complex today. Just totally lost. We hadn't even smoked the weed yet. I was just like, every building looks the same. They have one little sign that says building number 9. Tiny little sign.
Like cell block 9.
Yeah. Basically, why not? And then you drive through the tolls, and then they were taking my photos. Oh my God, I took so many tolls to get here. And I realized it's not about the money. They just want to be able to find us faster.
Bro, they have GPS trackers on all of us, our cell phones. If you think that the highest bidder for that GPS data from the cell phone companies is the US government, you're smoking fucking meth.
Yeah. No, but exactly. Well, yeah, the US government uses the tolls.
Crazy. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that we pay for that shit with our tax dollars, and then they're like, "All right, now you're gonna pay us for this shit, motherfucker."
Again. Yeah.
And you want to know what? I've never paid a toll bill, and I've driven them for years. I probably have a 5-digit toll bill, and every time I drive through the tolls, I flip them off. They probably have over 1,000 pictures of me flipping their cameras
So
off.
we all just have to say no to the bullshit. We're not taking the clocks back. We're not fuck you.
And you know what one of the big things is if they ever want to fucking send you to court, don't take the plea. Take them to court. Grind their shit to a halt.
Oh, I always take them to court.
Grind their shit to a halt, bro.
Oh, yeah, I always argue.
Yeah.
I always.
Oh, yeah.
I contest
Oh, my
it.
God.
Why not?
Oh, my God. You know what the fun thing is? There's no legal definition for intelligent.
No.
So whenever they go, do you intelligently understand? Or do you understand? Well, define that. And they can't define intelligent. And so I can't say whether or not legally if I intelligently understand what you're saying because y'all can't legally define intelligent. So what's up, bro? Where are we at? We're in a pickle here.
Oh, my God. No, I just asked the cop if she remembered. What happened was she pulled me over after an illegal left turn. So it's like a 4-way stop, but no left turn here. And I know this, but there's this homeless guy in the street. This is Oakland, not San Francisco, but Oakland. And he's just running.
Another real nice place.
I actually prefer Oakland. I think Oakland is nicer. Like, I think the people are friendlier, and it's actually safer.
Well, it's like less homeless there, more gang activity type shit.
And the gangs love me. You just got to be nice, you know.
If you're yourself, bro, like gang member-ish type people see through fakeness. And so if you walk up and try and be like a chameleon and blend in, it's like, bro, what are you doing? And so if you're just your goofy white self, they respect it.
Yeah, they're like, they keep
cool.
doing,
You're a fucking dork. Go for it.
They don't fuck with you at all.
Half of them watch anime and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's like you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how with it the urban community is, man. I'm able to break a lot of bread with a lot of urban folk in every direction, man.
I think so, and I think even the rural community too. I think they get along more than people think that they do.
Everybody does,
yeah.
bro. It's just
Everybody
the news.
does. Yeah.
The news is just trying to convince us that we hate each other. You realize that it's like the super rich people paying rich people to convince the poor people to fight amongst themselves.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening.
The whole time.
And the thing is, like, people are like, I don't trust the corporations, you know? Bro, you're getting your information from a corporation, bruh. What do you think Fox News is a big for-profit corporation? They're part of the goddamn Illuminati. The people who run that organization, all of them got the blood pact and sucked each other's cocks at Yale, bro. They're all in on the ring, bro. And if you think that they're letting you know what you need to know, if you're basing your opinion off what came through the rectangle, whether it be hanging off the wall or in your pocket, you're insane. Look around. Look inside yourself. That's where you're going to find truth. Not from Fox or CNN or me, motherfucker. Look inside. Don't get it from me. Think for your goddamn self. That's the fact.
Right.
If anybody's telling you to do anything other than that, they're full of shit.
Well, we're all full of shit at this point because it is. It's like
I told, before we even kicked off, I was like, don't think of me as anything other than an idiot.
Yeah.
Like I'm a dumbass.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm a dumbass, but you know.
Gang. Sub 95 gang. Know what I'm talking about? I had Brian McDuffie on. Are you familiar with Brian McDuffie?
No, not really. No.
Okay, Brian McDuffie's another comedian on the scene.
Yeah.
He runs a weekly show at the Piano Bar, Rocky's Piano Bar in downtown Round Rock every Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe y'all could break some bread together.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to get y'all plugged in together. Mm-hmm. But we'll work that out. Text messages, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Group text, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Super friends.
I could give it 2 weeks and see if Brian actually listens. I know that motherfucker don't listen to my podcast. It's fine.
You're like, he didn't hear this.
He's not one of the 36 views.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But what were we saying before digressed into we had a conversation about being stupid, and we looked up our Jamie over there, shout out Mikey, looked up the average IQ for like men in our demographic, 28 to 35 or whatever, and it's 95. That's the average IQ, and neither of us are smart enough to know if that was even good or not.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh. No, it's bad.
Oh, then we're stupid.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, so
average is 100.
So sub 95
Your
gang.
average is lower than average.
Sub 95 gang, and I'm one of the ones dragging it down. You can guarantee.
Oh,
bruh.
man, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
No, I love it. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
I cooked my brain with LSD. Had a conversation with the galactic consciousness. It was insane.
Well, what do you need then? I mean, that's the thing. We can't define intelligence, and unfortunately, we're catering to like a portion of people when we educate them. We're catering to people who, first of all, are good at reading and writing and learning that way, because some people need to touch stuff. Like I'm kinesthetic. I like to do things. If you show me how to do it, I can do it. If you tell me how to do it, it's going to be harder for me. I need to see something.
Or even more difficult, put it in writing and expect me to digest that.
Right. Like, I can't even understand half the texts I get. Like, I don't know if this is a booty call or if this is like, do I owe you money? Like, what is happening?
It's always a booty call.
I know. Damn it. But yeah, I think it's just, that whole intelligence thing is, it's overrated. Like, what are we talking about? If you can talk to galactic consciousness.
Let's be stupid forever. Like, embrace it. Whatever. It is what it is. We're goddamn monkey people, bruh.
Monkey people, bro. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that.
Riding around on a drop-top spaceship, bruh.
Drop-top.
Hurtling through space, homie. We're
That's why this thing is called monkey mouth.
and living in these like kind of like experiments, like I'm sorry, but my apartment it feels like a science experiment.
Oh, there's definitely the walls are cameras, my dude. Everything's
I'm like
have you seen the episode of South Park?
My fridge knows when I'm out of milk. No, it's fucking wild. Like, how's that?
Even if the fridge doesn't, Amazon knows.
Oh my God.
Daddy Bezos knows. That's Lex Luthor.
I can't say anything anymore without the phone trying to figure it out.
Oh, whenever I want to talk about the shadow government, I gotta put my phone I gotta turn my phone off and put it in the freezer.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's the only way. And then like any of these cheap TVs, if you have a cheap sub like $300 TV in your house, that's got a microphone that they're paying to listen to. And then what happens is like they take that data and it gets pushed through these computers where it listens for certain keywords, and it breaks them down into categories, right? Like every bit of audio that comes through, if it pings a certain way, it goes into a certain category. And before long, if that bit of audio falls into enough certain categories, that someone goes, oh, I need to listen to this, and a human goes and listens, and then that's how they find out.
I feel like they've heard me enough, just because like when I'm like in a bad mood, I start plotting, But I feel like they've heard me for sure.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
They've heard us all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Listen, the age of privacy is over.
Well, and that's something that I'm trying to figure out if I'm comfortable with or not, because, like, why am I so covetous of my privacy in the first place? Like, what is so important about privacy? Because I think that's something we all need to think about. Like, why is it important that we have that? Because we've already said it doesn't matter. We said it by signing whatever thousands of agreements we've all signed.
Yeah, I mean, your terms and agreements in your Apple phone was like, I don't give a fuck what you do.
So we need to figure out, like,
Patriot Act did that for us as well.
what?
Patriot Act did that.
Yeah.
So why does it matter? And I think people should start thinking about what that means to them. Because I used to think the same thing. Like, if I didn't have drugs on me, sure, you could search me, officer. But then I started realizing, like, no. I don't have anything fucking on me. And you still can't search me, you fucking cunt.
Well,
I'm going to make you do your job right now.
I just don't want you to.
115 for
Yeah.
All right, so the average range for women is 85 to 115. So the average of that would be 85 and 115 is 200. So y'all's average is 100. So the average for men is 5 points lower.
Women are just slightly, but you guys, we need you for other things. Like,
Turning big rocks into little rocks.
And killing, because women post, birth, like I think for most women, killing things is just hard. It's counterintuitive. Like, even if you're like a burly chick, like I'm like a girl who people think is like, I seem masculine in some ways, but I don't like killing things. I just don't want to. It goes against my whole thing.
Nah, I mean, I don't think that anybody. Well, there are certainly some people who get off on killing, but those people are like serial killers.
But no, men are just better at it. I mean, you guys used to do it strategically all the time.
Oh, I say all the time that we as monkey people have brains better suited for cracking reindeer skulls with clubs than for podcasting.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we have evolved these minds that are artistic enough. I mean, music.
What do you think spurred that evolution, that created creativity for us?
So I actually just started reading The Mating Mind, but I'm not in it enough to have any kind of assessment going. But my first instinct is sexual selection, because like guys who make music are hot. And women, at the end of the day, everybody knows that. Women have the greatest sexual selection as far as, you guys can rape us. Fine.
That's impolite, though.
But beyond, that's really rude. But beyond, like, that option, it's like the woman has to choose. And what is she choosing for? Like, we are so fast at picking guys who we would make pretty decent offspring with. Like, our ability to fucking select for...
Well, it's all snap judgments.
It's not just snap judgments. It's a chemical thing. Like, we're reading things that our brains figuring stuff out. They're like, no, that smell, that this, that this, that this, that this. That we're doing an assessment. It's a snap judgment. It's real fast, but it's a real assessment.
Yeah. And it's so much more than you could put into words and go this and this and this and this and this and think it out. If you tried to list it all in your brain, it'd take you 15, 20 minutes to go through it all. But that 100 things get processed in an instant, bro. That's how good we are at doing this shit. It's just our attempts at communicating it are so poor, because trying to take something that involved judging and weighing over 1,000 variables at once and coming up with an intuitive feeling of what is right, and then trying to quantify that is crazy.
It's crazy.
You can't do it.
You can, but it would take too long.
It's impractical.
Yeah.
It would be volumes of information.
We move through the day so quickly doing all kinds of snap decisions like that for our own survival and whatever your skill and threat assessment is for you. And then also, like, everybody has a different idea of what normal is or what comfortable it is. So there's like a bunch of variables.
It's all relative, dog.
There's tons of variables for each person, obviously, right?
Absolutely.
But, because some people, they make really fucked up kids. Like, what were they selecting for?
Well, it's like I've seen honestly, I've seen two pretty people make an ugly baby.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen two ugly people make a pretty baby.
Oh, yeah.
I have a beautiful child. I have no idea how it happened.
Oh,
It's insane. My boy is so beautiful. God, I love him so much. I do not know how I ever did it. He's definitely mine, though. You can see it. But, like, what the fuck happened there? Wow, go me.
A cutie. That's good.
For sure. Good. But, so, that was a really interesting answer on where you think creativity came from, and there was a couple things I wanted to speak on. I want to speak on what my thought is where it came from, but there's one thing that you spoke on throughout your talk where I really liked. It was people liking musicians, and I think that's because that's how we passed on information for forever. Like, that was before we were doing full sentences and on at one another. We were and around the fucking campfire telling stories, and that's how and that was a big part of courtship back in the day, and so yeah, dude, for sure, I think you nailed that. Nailed that. But I believe that one of the things that probably had a huge impact on the emergence of creativity in the human mind is the use of psychedelics. I thoroughly believe that. I first off believe that the use of psychedelic drugs is the Soma experience referenced in the oldest Vedic texts that exist. The Hindu rituals back in the day were all centered around the use of psychedelics. And so that's where I believe it all kind of started. The emergence of theology and all that really started with the utilization of psychedelics. And beyond that, if you go and look at the cave paintings, and this is secondhand information that I've just picked up from people podcasting on Joe Rogan stuff and different places. I can't quite recall exactly where it comes from, but it pings in the quantum computer that there's a clear relationship between the patterns that you see in cave paintings, like a helix spiral, right? That's not something that you see. That's something that you see whenever you take some psychedelics, and they've gone and looked at the type of psychedelics that exist nearby that grow organically there, and it always lines up. Mm-hmm. That if you eat that type of psychedelic, you will typically see that type of pattern. And so these people are happening across these different types of psychedelic entheogenic plants when they're out foraging naturally, and it's creating these experiences, and then they know it's important, right? It's like how you know it's important. So they go and write the shit down. Like, this is my cave painting here. You know what I'm saying? I saw some shit, and I know that, and like I've seen the truth to the best of my ability. I've been to the mountaintop, bro. I need to talk about it, so let's do it. And like, I have something a little bit more robust than a cave painting at this point to do with a podcast, but like, same energy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that psychedelics probably had a lot to do with it, but all of the receptor sites for any of those drugs already existed in our brains.
Oh yeah.
So that, like, so the fact that we're like built to have that connection, like, so did creativity come from there? Were we designed for it? I mean, it is really hard for me to think that this is all just what's really happening. I mean, it's really hard for me to think that this is not some kind of simulation at this point in my life, because as far as patterns go, it's like you want to find any pattern, and that's confirmation bias. You acknowledge a pattern, you acknowledge something exists, and then you see it everywhere. It can be as stupid as you get a car, and now you see your car everywhere. Or you read a new word, lackadaisical, love that word, and then you just fucking start seeing it everywhere. Before you fucking read it, it did not exist. And now everyone says lackadaisical? Motherfucker. What? So I think it is kind of like what you are aware of, that's your scope, your ability to see. Like, does the awareness come first, or does the thing...
What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
The thing is that it all goes with one another. You're speaking of it in dual terms, but we're all one big thing. We're in the solid state right now. We're in the unity point. It's like, they talk about the Big Bang, and how everything was just one infinitely small little point.
Right.
Right. Well, have you seen images of what the measurable universe is? Right, it's just like a cloud of stars, right, that we can see in every direction, right? And then it's like this sphere, right, that like you can see clearly emanates from our center point that we can measure.
Right.
Right? Well, if you just zoom far enough fucking out from that, it's just still a single fucking point off in the distance to this day.
1 point.
From some point off in the distance. We're still just as much the Big Bang right now as it was a billion years ago. We're all part of the Big Bang right now, actively banging. We hit the fucking switch so hard that the dust became aware of itself. Whoa, let's go.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, we're in the solid state. That makes just as much sense as anything, honestly.
Well, so there's a really compelling argument for the whole reality as a simulation thing, and it's that if what we're experiencing now is the fundamental reality, then there's only one reality, one real reality. Right? For the sake of argument.
Right.
Well, how many simulated reality spaces have we already created?
Tons.
Okay.
I can't even count.
So right then and there, you can tell that it's more likely that a space that you're experiencing is a fictional one. Like, for every real space there's an infinite number of fictional spaces that we create within them, because that's what creativity leads to. And the chance is that we're existing somewhere within one of those turtles all the way down.
Well, and then, yeah, how much participation do we have in it? Because, like, a lot of things I look at, like, I've always lived very, 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 strangely, as far as most people are concerned. Or at least not in line with anything. And, because when I'm going down the toll road, I should stop paying. I never paid for public transportation. I don't know. I think I just, But there's certain things I don't pay for. And it's like, no, I did not set this fucking thing up. And if I did set this fucking thing up, it wouldn't be so fucking ugly. Okay? Because everything is concrete. Everything is so... And then you think about, like, I've just been thinking about more and more. You create something so bland. And, like, why would people defend that? Why would they keep it clean? Why would why would you care about something where everything fucking looks the same? There's no identity. Now the only identity is whether or not you fuck, the same sex as you or you, now we're so, the only thing we can really have that's beautiful is what we design our personality to be. So whether that's like your AI fucking avatar, or it's I'm a trans blah, blah, I'm this, because I get it. There's a beautiful bitch in all men. There's also a fucking stud muffin in me, I get it. But, like, to design these characters that are beautiful in a world that's just really ugly and flat. And where do we get identity from? Culturally, we're not allowed to have identity. We're not. Culturally.
Or if you do like to rock the stars and stripes, you're a
white nationalist.
Or you're a fascist, right?
Oh, and that's just not true.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Some of those people are
every fascist comes to you draped in an American flag, so a lot of people have a difficult time differentiating.
Well, there's fascists that are wearing Italian flags too.
Well, but the point is that fascism's like that like blind alignment with, the government can't do any wrong. Whatever they're doing is perfect type shit, and like.
Well, that's the liberals right now, or the fuck no. But I mean, just
it's all over the place.
It's everybody.
Listen, my stance on government is that.
You're a genius.
Both of these political parties are like the left wing and the right wing of the same bird, right? And like the brain of that bird is the 1,000 guys on an island who run the entire planet, right? There's like 1,000 dudes who have all the money and all the power and all the wealth and all the property everywhere. And those guys get together on the planet, and they don't have any alignment to any government anywhere. They're aligned to themselves as a group of people who've kind of gotten into the pact together to run the thing. And so the governments of these countries get used like blunt force instruments for the actualization of their intentions. And that's it. If you think that anything else is happening, I think you're wilding. Like if you think that there's of any consequence. I don't even think they count the votes. I think that they're going to give us some blue team. They're going to give us some red team. But at the end of the day, everything that matters to the brain of the bird, the 1,000 guys on the island who run everything, is actually going to move forward. There's going to be some stuff that didn't really matter to them that they're going to get rid of. There's going to be some stuff that, and they're going to keep everybody thinking that it's real, man. But at the end of the day, they're moving towards whatever the fuck they want.
Well, and it's trippy too, because like I grew up in like a spiritual community, and so all of these groups are all like it was a cult for sure, and they believed in like consciousness and then how to tap into consciousness, and I mean they were inebriated as fuck. I mean they were drinking. They had a winery for Christ's sake. They made some really great wine. It was a beautiful spot. The whole thing. I used to think my parents were cunts for fucking joining a cult. I thought, these fucking idiots. They just wanted someone to tell them what to do, and they just wanted some way out. But then I realized the actual appeal of the cult was how beautiful it was. It was beautiful. They had statues. They had rose gardens. They had fucking blood oranges. They grew blood oranges. They had these orange groves that were just so well manicured, and it was just so beautiful. And the fences... And yeah, the thought in the statue, the thought in the layout, the thought in the ponds, and then they build these buildings.
You get to go to a place that's curated to stimulate your senses in a positive way.
Yeah, and everything
like the studio.
Yes,
like we've done here on purpose.
Yes,
to a much greater degree.
To create an aesthetic, and then, but I started noticing that that's what people were really in these spiritual communities. It's still going to be like a materialistic thing. Okay, what were you talking about? I had a point. I had a connection. There was some kind of connection. But I just grew up with these people who thought they were beyond it. And then this whole idea that they are running things is still, it's got to be a simulation. Our enemy is they.
Yeah, that's silly.
Them, those guys. No, it always is, but why?
One thing that you were speaking on earlier that I'd like to circle back to is why would people defend everything being bland and gray and the same, and that's because it's in the cold-hearted interest of profitability. That's all it is. It's all for profit. And I remember being in college.
Suicide is profitable?
Excuse me? I didn't say anything about suicide.
Yeah, but making the world so ugly that half the people don't want to
Oh,
be here.
fuck. I feel you. Yeah, I feel you on that. I got you now. I was like, damn, did something just, because I don't remember what I said 2 seconds ago.
I know. It's
So, like,
yeah,
did
we-
I-
You could chime in.
I was like,
Making suicide machines. So yeah. they're
yeah.
wrong.
So I was like, holy shit, did I just say something wild? What the fuck?
No.
No, cool. Go. Whoa, you're just being silly. We're great.
With-
But I remember being in college and being in an economics class and trying to argue for a more social economic structure, right? Not outright socialism, but like, bruh, we already have like Social Security. Like, we could take care of veterans better. You know, like, it's like all kinds of things. Like, anything that we do for people is moving in the direction of socialism, period, right? Like, we're socializing things when we do that. And I think that's good in a lot of circumstances, bro. I don't think that veterans should be waiting for their drugs. There's a lot of wild things that go on where I feel like we should be able to take care of our own better. The point of a government is to make life better for the people who are under it, man. So, like, let's fucking make it better. But I was trying to say that, and these people were saying that a more social economic structure leads to a lack of creativity, and that every building would just be gray, and that it would just be this, like, every building would look the same. It would just be, everything would be the bare bonesness that it could possibly be for the sake of, what however that made sense to them. But there's a case in point where down in Austin, there was a gas station that had been locally owned for forever, since it was built. And it had this beautiful mural on the side of it, like Willie Nelson and Jimi Hendrix and all these just legends, bro. It was dope. Like, it was something that I grew up seeing. It was part of the deal. You know, like, you don't, this is fucking real art. Like, it's signed, like, it was not like a graffiti thing. It was real art. And even graffiti's real art. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but
Graffiti.
the point is that it was like a really, really beautiful thing. And finally that those people sold it. And it was to a big, franchise corporation, and the first thing they did was paint it over the mural. And so now we have a gray, bland wall where a mural used to be,
But
because
that's
it
where
didn't fit within the plan. Like,
Yeah.
they have a model for profitability.
Creativity comes from other creativity. I mean, we're artists. We've been stealing from other people the whole time. So whoever is painting on these cave, and who knows, it might have
Art
been
is derivative. Art is derivative.
Yeah, always. And through that, what's the opposite of derivative? Through that, it's the phoenix. It becomes itself. It burns itself. It is reborn.
Well, we're all channeling from the infinite. Like, if the universe is infinite, there's nothing that you can see in your mind's eye that doesn't exist somewhere right here, right now, because it's
Somewhere.
mathematically has to be that way
Somewhere.
if it's infinite.
Yeah.
That's why fucking Biggie can be in his studio writing "Blow Up Like the World Trade," Born Center, opposite of a winner, and then years later the fucking Born Center gets blown the fuck up. Because you're channeling it. That's why fucking life imitates art and art imitates life, because literally everything that we see is somewhere. That's why we see it. Mm-hmm. And so whenever, I tell you, think about, where you're going to be tomorrow when you wake up in the bed, right?
Right.
Like, where you're going to be tomorrow. It's pretty clear cut. You're literally seeing that place in space and time right here, right now in your mind's eye.
Tomorrow is there, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that makes you isn't this body. It's the thing that's out there moving around, bro. You literally went there and checked it out in space and time.
Oh, dude, you can check out all kinds of things.
But the point is that if tomorrow is real because you can see it in your mind's eye, so is every good thing, so is every bad thing, and so is every wild thing that doesn't necessarily exist here on Earth that you can see. And the point is that every time that we put it's like having to go through the woods. Right? Every time that you go to a point in time that you want, right? Like that point where you're going to be happy in 10 years and everything's worked out, and like that idea that you have in your mind where you're going to be, every time you go there, it's like walking through the woods there, and eventually the more times you walk it, you've forged an actual path, and eventually that's just the path of least resistance, and that's where you naturally fall into.
The groove, yeah. You design, you create your own groove into whatever path you decided. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's totally the valid way the universe works, I think.
I mean, I think that at the end of the day, there's a million ways to communicate it, because there's no really getting at the truth, right? I think that at the end of the day, truth is like a way gnarlier thing than monkey words can really get to. And so we're just like orienting people at perspectives that they can use to understand the thing.
Well,
right?
the thing is that you create your own reality. And the thing is that we're like, the Buddhists had part of it because they talk about suffering and everyone's going to suffer, and suffering is a part of life. So there's this funny thing that like the positivity movement was like really conflicting for me, because it was like, I'm not going to be happy about shit that sucked. Do not fucking tell me that I'm going to say, oh, no. And I mean, I'm a pretty optimistic person in general. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. But don't tell me to deny what I felt. So I think what we're all going to start learning more of, or what it feels like, is our feelings do matter, and they don't always have to be positive feelings. But we can go towards the feelings that we want more and more. But we are here to choose. We choose.
There's a Muslim proverb that says, in life only sunshine makes a desert. Is that...
Yeah. You have to have all the stuff. And not to say that, like, but I think that, like, when the Buddhists talk about it, I find the Buddhists annoying at this point, but I find all the spiritual people annoying. They're going for the same thing, though.
Right. I fucking love that.
The core is that we're trying to be good people. Like, what I don't get now is that we act like Trumps and all these people on TV, they're all they do is exploit other people. All they do is sell things and take advantage of other people. All these people. And we act like exploitation is like the way that you're going to win. You have to exploit these customers, exploit views.
Man, that's so ugly.
But that is what we're told.
No, I mean, bro, that's capitalism.
That's what we're told to do. And I think capitalism is great. I really do, because I wouldn't say I'm a socialist, but at a certain point, kindness is what actually got us to this point. Like, we killed, we raped, we pillaged, we did all kinds of brutal shit. But people just being generally kind. You run into some people in the woods that don't speak the same language as you. We didn't automatically kill each other. Most of the time we tried to negotiate. We're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Whatever the fuck, I know what
we can charades our way through this.
Yeah, and did.
We're monkey people.
We
We'll figure
did,
it
but
out.
why would we do that if we're just barbarians? Why would we even try to negotiate?
Oh, it's because we're not.
Because we're not.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the news wants us to think that everybody hates everybody, and it's just not true. Kindness is what actually gets everything working. It's just that somebody will let you pass. That's it. Someone let you merge. That's how fucking the whole thing has been going this whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the thing about the thing about like, how long have we been going?
37. Y'all are good.
Oh, perfect. Give me at an hour. So my thing about whatever you want to call it, good energy, bad energy, light energy, dark energy, good, bad, right, wrong, whatever it is, right? The way that you in your heart feel like it ought to be versus the way that it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Versus the way that it isn't, or the way it shouldn't be, right? If you just lean in the way that it should be, you're effectively operating in a manner that I could metaphorically associate to being light, right? And operating in a bad way could be darkness, right? And here's the thing, is that if you're in a place that's entirely dark and you light yourself up, you illuminate the whole room. All the darkest, nastiest shit has to go and crawl behind the fucking... It has to literally go hide. It can't make it in the presence of light. It can't. And so if you're in an illuminated room and you try and strike a match of darkness, right? Like, it's going to fucking get smothered by the light. And so the good is so much more powerful than the bad. And that's why we keep making it, because every time, good people typically want to kick back and enjoy themselves, keep to themselves, And bad people are the ones out there like taking and negatively affecting people. But it takes a lot for the good people to finally go, okay, fine, we gotta fucking actually fight this.
Well, and that's because
or
that's
whatever,
the thing.
right?
What is good and bad? It's like defining intelligent.
Exactly.
And most of the time, the people interfering, the people who want to tell you what to do with your life, they're usually the bad ones, like historically. Because the real peace is live and let live. And if we're not, and sure, there are certain things you got to put your foot down with. But
in my world, one of the only things that can't be tolerated is intolerance, right? Like, and that's such a like paradoxical thing. But like, bro, as long as you can let me live my life, then we're good. One thing that I like to come up with a thought experiment with people is, cool, you think that people shouldn't be able to do cocaine, right? Like out here in the country, there's like a lot of people, like a good country boy, right? Like, no, you shouldn't be able to do cocaine. Cool. Well, like, we're buddies, right? Like, you think I'm all right. Yeah. I do cocaine every here and there. Sure. If it were just in, like, you like me still, right? You don't feel like I should go to jail right now, do you? No. Okay. So if it were just me and you on the whole planet, right? You and me were the last two people on the planet. Would you want to lock me in a cage as the only other living human on the planet for doing cocaine? Well, no, that's crazy. Well, what makes it fucking different when there's 7 billion of us?
right. Right. And those are the things I think affecting. And then, I think about the age of consent a lot because I'm a woman. And I think the age of consent was pushed for us differently. I mean, the amount of sexual attention women get is just obviously more, right? At a younger age, all this stuff. I think for men it's pretty, because my dad was all these things. But I do think about what is an adult. When do people become adults? Because I do think about that. I do think about, like, well...
It's a fair question.
Do these choices affect children? And I grew up so bizarrely as I did. I mean, I don't think it was that big of a deal, but yeah, my parents were in a cult. They were Burning Man people. I did mushrooms when I was a child, basically.
It was normal for you because that's how you came up. Most people would be like, wow, but...
Oh, no. Everybody in my entire life has been like, wow, weird. Okay, weird. And I'm like, yeah, it was weird. But what is... I remember the point where I knew I was ready for different experiences in my life versus when people told me. But, like, that's the only thing I actually worry about as far as, like, live and let live. I think about, well, okay, but kids. Because, yeah, my mom let me do I was 13 the first time I did mushrooms. My mom let me do that. And, it was a fucking great time. Would I let a 13-year-old
definitely questionable.
do that?
It's definitely.
If I had a 13-year-old in my care...
I'll tell you right now, I'm not letting my son do mushrooms at 13.
No.
I feel very, very strongly about that.
Right,
I mean,
mom,
but
yeah.
I'm not, like, mad at them, right? Again, like, I'm going to let y'all live, but, like, holy fuck, wow.
Well,
Like, wow. It's just like such.
She'll deny it.
It's just
She'll
like,
deny it,
sure, of course, right? Like, 'cause- but I mean, like, it's definitely like questionable judgment, man.
So
Definitely.
it's like that part is where I go live and let live, and then there are these children.
I mean, the point is you can't be harming people, and like that's potentially harmful. You know what I'm saying? And so
Potentially.
exactly, and that's where it gets kind of gray, and that's
But a lot of the belief systems that we have, like outside of psychedelics now, there are worse things that she could have told me or done, and that would have made my life way worse. Like, so I
mean,
think,
you're here now. You're doing all right. You know what I'm saying?
I got a good life. I like myself.
I like your vibe. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it's chill. You know what I'm saying? I haven't told you to get the fuck out of my studio yet.
Life is good. I'm a weirdo. I'm crazy as shit.
And you're in Austin. And you're in Austin, dude, which is perfect.
I'm the quintessential California redhead, right? Like, I mean, I'm
Let's
strawberry,
go.
but I'm like they think I'm crazy already, and I'm just gonna prove everybody right, you know.
I love that energy.
I'm just, you guys already think I'm weird, but yeah, I just think so. The thing, yeah, who is telling you who to be? And that's the only time I've ever thought.
You just gotta look inside.
I think, yeah, because I think whenever, like, there are times where people have said, you can't do that. And I've thought, oh, God, or you're bad because of who I am, right? Whatever that is. I'm bad. Okay, fine.
You're a bad person. Cool. Yeah, I've been told it.
I'm like, okay.
I think any real one's been told it by someone who's trying to control
Well,
them.
then you have to really think about that. Like, am I?
Yeah. You got to grapple with that thought.
And you think, and you go all the way into it, and for a while you're convinced that you're terrible. Because you just take that shit. You're like, oh my God, this guy said I'm a piece of shit. He said I'm terrible. He said I'm crazy. He said
Listen, the truth is that we're all rascals. We're all fucking rascals, guys. Can we just get with it? like, and earlier, this is one thing that I really wanted to talk about, and we just digressed, and I couldn't get back to it, and I'm high, and I couldn't remember.
It's perfect. Now you're there.
The subject of privacy. This is why we all need privacy. Because we're all rascals in our own way. And it's part of what makes being human is having that thing that you know everybody else isn't going to necessarily jive with, and that you wouldn't want your friends and family to know about, but that you're doing. You know, it's like you really like it deep down. You're like a little puckhead. You know, everybody wants to be a little shithead.
But it's not even that. Because somebody said that to me recently. I'm dating somebody.
I'm convinced we're all rascals.
And he said something along the lines of, like, I sometimes will get, like, really weird psychic hits about shit. And, like, sometimes I'll say things to people and they'll be like, how did you know that? And I freak people out.
It's like, yeah, I did a lot of drugs. I'm, like, all open to whatever the universe is going to tell me.
You know, people say I'm a witch. You know, right now I'm super blunted out and I had some good scotch. This is great. But I think everybody can do that. I think everyone can pick up on shit. But lately I've just been like...
all have future vision.
Oh, that's what that is. I don't know what my point on that one was. But, what did he say to me? I'm seeing this person. And he said, well, you know, Alyssa, of course there's things I don't want you to know about me. And I thought, that's funny. Because, you know, all my weirdness, it's not that I don't want people to know. It's that I don't want fucking anyone there. Okay?
That's fair.
That's
so fair.
I want my space where I can do my weird thing.
My vibe.
My fucking thing. Because I have a great time. I don't give a shit if they know what I'm up to. None of it's bad. I'm not doing anything bad, you know?
You just need your space to get your fucking weird on.
Right, and I think that's what most of us really need.
Yeah.
And that's the privacy thing. Because I cover up all the little cameras, not all of them, but enough of them. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be me. I want to be me, little weirdo.
Well, it's like, I definitely don't need anybody barging into my space while I'm high on a 10 strip, foaming at the mouth with my leg behind my head. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're watching.
For sure. Well, that's why you. Oh, yeah. That's why. That's why you. Well, I mean, I don't give a fuck if the state's looking at my asshole. Fuck off. I just don't want my friend to walk in and be like, because that's gonna fuck up my vibe.
So
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
what privacy is. Is it like a person that you know that's related to you versus an outside entity? Because that's not what.
Well, it's just a matter of how it's gonna have impact interpersonally, locally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with some NSA agent being like, look at Pun's asshole. I'm like, fuck that guy, whatever. But if if Mikey walked in and was like, oh my God, your asshole, I'd be like, we got to deal with this now, bro. Like, wow. You know, it's just like a whole different, it's a whole different beast to grapple with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of, for me, it's just the matter of amount of trouble that it's going to make for me. And I don't mean trouble insofar as I'm going to literally be in trouble. It's just the amount of conversation and effort I'm going to have to put into making things continually copacetic with the people around me. I don't feel like dealing with. That's not the energy I want to put in. I want to put energy into showing my asshole to my webcam.
Oh yeah.
So that the NSA can see it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whatever you're into, man.
Well, that's literally an arbitrary example.
Right.
It's just like fucking whatever the thing is, whatever your thing is out there in the internet who's listening to this, fucking go for it.
We don't care that people can see this. We just want. So for most people, privacy would be those private moments that are there's a word for that. It's not infinite, but that aren't subjective. No. Because whoever this person is anonymous to us. Whoever is watching, the thems.
Yeah.
So we're just worried about what the people in our lives think about us, because that will have an effect. Which is what I find interesting about the whole privacy argument, is that we're really just asking for that immediate privacy of not being aware of the fact that we're being watched. It's okay that we're being watched. We just don't want to be aware of it, and we don't want it to be people that we care about, right? We don't want it to be our mom.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want the NSA looking at my ass. Like, I would prefer not. Like, I would absolutely prefer to have my privacy in every circumstance, but
it's so abstract.
At this point, I understand that I've kind of unwittingly agreed to some social contracts and some literal contracts with some organizations, and I'm kind of like, roped into this now, you know?
You were going to speak on the South Park Apple episode, is what you were going to talk about. You talked about South Park. and contracts. So were you going to speak on that?
I don't remember what episode I was going to talk about. What were we talking about when I brought that up?
Contracts and like an NSA and privacy.
Oh, I don't know. I'm high. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that would make good sense, but that isn't like pinging for me. Like I know what episode you're talking about, and I don't feel like that's what I was going to talk about. But that's like a good shot in the real good fucking shot in the dark.
So I'm just wondering what privacy even means at this point.
Again, there's no truly communicating what privacy truly is with monkey words.
Yeah.
We'll never really get there. There's something deep down that is privacy, and so here's a fun one: is like if you can take your understanding of privacy as a concept and reduce it down into like a snapshot, a two-dimensional image, right? We can use that as a side of a cube, and we could take his and use it as a side of a cube, and mine use it as a side of a cube. Right? And we can eventually create a three-dimensional shape where the surfaces are defined by our conceptions of that thing. And in the center of mass of that object is where the truth of that subject really lies. Right? And all those surfaces are now windows through which you can look into the center of mass to try and peek through that perspective and that perspective and that perspective. And before long, you can have a more robust perspective of your own. And where I actually got this idea to describe the forms of concepts in that way was in a psychedelic experience. I took way too much LSD one night, one of my first real big psychedelic experiences, and I did the whole thing, like, whoa, did the whole thing. And what was I talking about?
Oh,
Your
the
psychedelic
cube, the cube of understanding. Well,
Oh,
like through
yeah.
through these lenses.
Yeah. So I basically had my heart weighed against the feather of truth in the hall of Anubis. And I realized, like, it told me, like, you're going to be all right. And in that moment, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm talking with the thing, like the sum total of wisdom out here. What's up? And the first question that came to my mind to ask was, what's the purpose of life? It's love. But it didn't tell me love, it didn't show me LOVE. It showed me, instead of it being a cube, it was every living being that had ever lived everywhere's fucking shape, bro. And it was fucking crazy. It was like I was in a bath. It was, imagine you're like in water looking up at infinite white and someone dropped in a fucking drop of pink food coloring at you. And and I looked through like all these different poke holes to like see through. And I was literally like looking through the perspective of someone who lived in the Roman times, how they felt about love. I was able to look through their perspective. I looked through perspectives of a thing that lived on a planet where they breathed methane.
It's the only thing. Oh, you should read the Three Body Problem by Sixin Su. I don't know. It's translated by another guy, but Three Body Problem. All these different worlds. It's just fun. It's fun.
That sounds fun.
Sci-fi is fun. But, yeah, love is it. No, I mean, love is always going to be it.
Right. My thing is, earlier we were talking about how the universe is infinite. My thing is that it splits off into a new version of itself every time that a sentient being makes a decision.
Yes.
Right? So whenever I decided to go like that versus when I decided not to, there was a split. Every time I decided to snap, nope, yes. Every time it's fucking splitting off. An infinite number of times. Every time that we fucking, like, you know how it is. There's an infinite number of micro decisions being made within every decision. So it's splintering off everywhere all the time. But the point is that at every, like, nexus point where it's going to split, there's a primary decision that's being made. And the primary decision is whether you're going to follow the path of love or whether you're going to follow the path of fear.
Oh, yeah.
And if you choose
love
every time, you're going to get hurt. Shit's going to be wild. But at the end of the playthrough, my dude, whenever you're on the Petri dish and every god that's ever existed is looking at you through the microscope, you're going to be able to look back at this and go, oh, that was dope.
You're going to find out you were every god that ever existed, and you're going to be grateful that you did the way you did. And
yeah, you had a good time.
No, love is definitely, like, I'm, like, in love again. I'm, like, really quick to fall in love. I love loving. Yeah. I love being in love.
Well, I love everything. I swear to God, I have an infinite amount of like divine love for everything. Like,
I don't always.
The trash bags, everything.
No,
everything.
See, I mean, there are things I appreciate.
Everything.
Okay, well, you might be more enlightened than me, sir, but I love deeply and I love a lot. And I've never really thought about it as far as being weighed. I've never had that, like, thought. I just had, like, the idea of, like, would I be able to look at myself? Like, would I be able to be like, well, because, and then not in this world, like, currently we live in a world where you tweet something years ago somebody doesn't like that Kevin Hart thing really made me mad. Out of all the cancellation things, Kevin Hart probably made me the most mad.
He doesn't live in the Matrix idea. He said he doesn't have
What the fuck? Kevin Hart got canceled? I thought Kevin Hart was like the biggest celebrity.
Years ago. It didn't even matter, but it was so upsetting.
They tried.
Like,
people tried.
They tried.
They're like, Kevin Hart said a thing
'Cause
years ago. He's mean.
Yeah, years before he had tweeted this thing where he just said the word gay, basically. He just said gay. He said that would be gay.
Well, you know, canceling people for saying that's gay is fucking gay.
It's so gay. It's the gayest.
That's some gay shit.
But when I saw that, I was like, oh man. Anyway, I don't know why canceling came up for me, but love, yeah. There are things that
recognizing something out of fear.
Right, well, and then our response to when people do things or say things that we don't like, hating that is just like, I don't know. It just became so weird to me that your reaction to, because I don't like everything, but I also don't need to like everything.
Well, you gotta understand that, like, liking and loving aren't the same. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. They're not mutually inclusive. There's, I don't love the way Komodo dragons bite their prey and let them basically die slow, painful deaths and eat them while they're still alive. That's such an, like terribly painful, evil thing. But hey, bro, like, everybody's getting on the way they're getting on, and like, I still love those Komodo dragons, but like, goddamn, and like, there's certain like people who I'm like goddamn to, and there's certain concepts that I'm like goddamn to, but at the end of the day, I know in my heart. I say I know. I don't know anything. I just
feel it.
I feel very strongly that this is most likely the case, that love is truly the answer. And even in some circumstances where, like, say, I get, like, some dude pulls a knife out on me in the street, right? And there's no, like, I'm going to give you a hug and this is going to be better now. Like, this, I'm not trying to say that love's the way to get out of that right then. But if that character hadn't been deficient of love on the come up, they wouldn't be out here robbing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people don't want to talk about that.
But so that's what I'm trying to say, is that in every circumstance, if that person, because I don't think in terms of linear time, everything has ever exists right here, right now. So like, if they had just been loved right when they needed it, we wouldn't be here. And so if we just be that change now, bro, like if everybody right here, right now, if everybody on the planet right now just started loving to the fullest of their ability at every decision, a lot of shit would change for the better for everybody. I'm telling you, man. And so that's all I'm trying to do, is trying to create those ripples of change.
But what they're currently doing is they're telling you to not be discerning, and just love everything. And that's not actually valid. Like, there is a level of discernment you're allowed to have to love. So don't just look, because what I see a lot of the people who don't know, and it's usually more privileged people who haven't suffered. And they're, I love it, I understand. And they just don't want to say the one true thing, which is that they're afraid of it. They don't love it. They're scared shitless of it. And they're trying to accept it because they want to be good, but they're afraid.
Well, but so, again,
and it would also be better if not just love is your truth. Love is surrender to that, right?
Well, but beyond that, being afraid and loving something aren't mutually exclusive concepts.
No, but
I can love the alligators, but I'm not going to go fucking hug one.
Well, no, but if you don't know that, then you're not going to the source of truth. If you're just trying to pretend like you can acknowledge fear and not feed it. You can say, I am afraid of that.
No, but like, bro, fear is a healthy thing. It keeps people safe.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like, you don't need to not be afraid. And I'm not saying that because I love something, I'm not going to be afraid of it. Like, bro, like, if I see a dangerous situation, I can love the ground those dangerous people are standing on. I can love those dangerous people. I can love everything about it. That doesn't mean I'm going to go put myself in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you got to be wise enough to protect your own interest and like, not walk into danger. But that doesn't mean that you can't love everybody. Like literally the scary dudes in the alleyway, I love them. I'm not going to go hang out in the alleyway with them.
But they're not even that scary.
Yeah, but the point is that, like, again, for me, I can be terrified of something and still love it as unconditionally as if I weren't terrified of it.
Yeah, but that's like a bigger viewpoint. Like, as far as what I'm saying is that I think part of what people need to do is actually like address how they really feel about stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Whatever that feeling is. And if that feeling is really negative, and then they should look at why it actually bothers them. And then try to go to love. Because I think, like, understanding is love. Because love is understanding, for sure. Love is understanding. And
trying to define the divine is a loop that will get stuck in to infinity.
oh, yeah, you can't really do it, but I know love is understanding. I know love is unconditional. I know love is surrender. I know enough about love. I very much love love.
Well, there's an infinite spectrum of it, right? Like there's the love where there's like tough love. There's love where it's like sexual love. There's love where it's like the way you love like your best friend. You know, like there's an infinite spectrum of love, and the point is that there's any place on that spectrum where you want to try and put in energy and participate is valid. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, but I think it would be ideal if people really did actually know what they felt about stuff.
I think therapy would help out a lot of folk. I really do think that. I swear to God, I advocate for people to go to therapy a lot. Even if you believe that you're healthy and that you have no benefit to gain from it, the tools that they can give you to deal with the people around you that aren't healthy are phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And then I promise you're going to learn some shit about yourself, and like you're going to get to understand yourself and understand the things that make you fearful. And it's nice to have someone around who is objective and who can help you kind of work through that stuff, even if you didn't realize you needed to.
Yeah.
But I think that's a dope-ass place to end the podcast. You've been phenomenal. I've absolutely loved this conversation.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Well, one last time, give yourself a shout-out.
Alyssa Westerlund, I'm very funny. You can find me
Clearly.
somewhere in Austin. I will do stuff. I probably will yell at you, and I'm sorry.
This is a fact. She's a wild woman. She's fucking wild, y'all.
I'll probably yell at you.
Well,
Guaranteed.
everybody, I appreciate y'all tuning in so much. Love everybody. Peace out, dudes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.